I'm like, come at me, bro.
Trying to monetize your knowledge.
Time to get a return on my investment.
I'm like, you guys have no idea your parents are rich.
I love you.
Bruises, late nights, frustrations, wanting to give up. This is long.
Like, what a loser. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Guys, welcome to the best podcast in the world.
Yes.
As always. But we come today.
No, wait, stop, man.
What?
The world.
Oh, what was it then?
It's the universe.
Oh, the universe. The universe, sorry. The ether, the universe.
Yeah.
Sorry. But today we come with something special, right? Something as, we're always trying to unplug from things. So we feel like you always get a bit of me and John. So let's try something different. Let's get a third party perspective, right? And we have none other than Property with Bree!
am I allowed to clap for myself?
I see why not.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you for jumping off. First ever guest
Yes.
of the Unplug. That's the Guinness World Record, by the way.
Wow, I'm touched, obviously.
You get your roses and your bits and pieces in the post shortly.
Dairy milk.
But obviously, Bree, thank you so much for coming on. To give you guys a bit of an insight about Bree. Bree is an boss, entrepreneur, babe,
Wow.
mom, wife, mother, hustler, property entrepreneur, coach, mentor. What does she not do? Everything.
Superhero. Not
Superhero.
all superheroes wear capes.
Oh, literally.
This is the prime
So
example.
we
Some wear
are
sambas. Yeah.
all sambas.
Yes.
So we're grateful to having her presence, and thank you for taking your time. So as we sort of explore your journey,
Yes.
and how you have also unplugged from societal norms.
Yes.
So guys, you're in for a treat.
Thank you.
So
Indeed.
again, firstly, but as we always every episode, John, we always have a bone to pick with the people.
We do.
What's
We
the
do,
bone?
we do. The bone to pick is people are watching.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening, Brie.
Can you imagine?
They're like, I'm hearing people take quotes from the podcast and use it in their
Can you
sentence.
imagine?
Oh, hell no.
No
But
referencing.
they're not liking.
They're not subscribing.
You know?
They're not even
They're
sharing.
not sharing.
So cardinal sin. Cardinal sin, guys.
Very much so,
So
very
please,
much so.
tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Like, we're giving you guys a lot of value, and sharing is caring, as they say. Right?
Indeed.
So, without further ado, Bree,
Yes.
how has your week been?
How has my week been? Today is Friday. This has been the craziest week, honestly,
Yeah.
for a while. On Tuesday, I hold a webinar.
Yeah.
600 people live.
Flipping out.
Webinar luck off. Yeah.
Shut down.
Maximum subscription.
Listen, webinar
Nice.
luck off. I'm like, guys, I'll be right back. Locked off.
Oh no.
No
And I
way.
didn't even get into the nitty gritty of it.
No way.
So I was like, oh, one L. I
Damn.
tried to do another one, tried to send out the link, but obviously it's not the same. Once you
course,
come
it's not
back
the same
on, it's
thing,
not the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
Everyone
You've
now.
lost everybody. And you know what? I posted something on TikTok just before that webinar. I come off the webinar, obviously depressed, pulling my hair out.
Yeah.
Then I see the post is going viral.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, there's a silver lining.
Yes.
It's like obviously 2 days later, it's still going kind of semi-viral. So I'm like, okay, cool. What happens? There starts to be more sign-ups for the masterclass, but it's a link in my bio. So I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
So I've been continuing the week, just kind of like, this is team too much. Am I making a mistake? Like sometimes you put all your eggs in the business basket, and then when something goes wrong with business, you're like, what am I doing? Yeah,
Throws you out completely.
throws you off. And I'm looking at like HMRC. Today is, self-assessment day. And I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this?
These damn taxes.
The taxes, child.
They're coming.
Yeah. But I started my day with doing some client calls. I had a one-to-one client, which was lovely.
That's amazing.
She's not particularly in the property space. She's
Okay.
a one-to-one client because she just wants to know how I blew up. And she wants to kind of do the same. So,
That's good.
which is nice.
That's good.
Because it's not property related. So it's good for me to just switch off for a bit.
Yeah.
And then I went to go and do a property viewing in Bromley, a cottage.
So I'm going to stop you there because I know
Yeah.
our viewers are probably watching thinking, what does this woman do? She sounds amazing.
Yeah,
I
we
need to
haven't
let
actually
the
talked
people
about
know
No, right.
before what you do. Who are you? Because you are our first guest, which means it's a big thing. You know,
Okay.
we don't just bring any and anyone on.
Of course.
So we clearly rate you very highly.
Thank you.
She's the
thank
only
you.
one that actually replied.
But you need to let the world know who you are.
Okay, so my name is Sabrina, commonly known as Bree. I am an Airbnb host, property host. I run Airbnbs. I manage other people's Airbnbs. I find Airbnbs for investors, and I teach people how to run their own Airbnb business.
Amazing.
So
amazing. Do you know, it's like a breath of fresh air to have someone in the room who feels the pain.
Honestly.
Every minute of the day.
Yes.
Every day. So
Literally.
it's beautiful to have you on, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so
I just thought,
much.
they need a bit of context.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was going to say.
You're firing off bullets.
She's a busy woman.
Yeah, busy. Who is this woman?
So I went to go and view the property. And you know what's funny, right? The owner of the property, I spoke to him before, and he was like this very I have houses here and there, you know how Nigerian men can be.
Okay.
And he was like, I've got houses here, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, what kind of viewing is going to be? It's going to be two men and me going on about how rich they are. This is going to be so long. But to be honest, met them, and he was completely cool. He showed me around his house. He has moved his family out of Bromley, but he said to me he wants to have the house available in summer so he could do parties in the house.
Okay.
So I said, okay.
But it is your house.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, does your wife know this? Or
What type of party?
what type of parties are we talking about here? But it was cool. So we're going to get it furnished and start running it, which is great. And then I came down here.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Very busy
Busy.
days.
What about you, JP? What have you
That's
been
how
up
it
to?
goes. What have I been up to? What have I not been up to? If I'm honest with you, my mind is just thinking about getting away.
Really?
That's the
holiday?
main thing now. I'm still like trying to, work. But what have I been up to? So I am now in the content creation stage of my journey, where obviously, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you need to put yourself out there, right? You are your brand.
100%.
People buy people.
100.
And obviously, because I'm expanding certain areas of my business, I know it's that time. But I hate filming. Funny enough, people would never know that I don't really like filming, but I now need to come out of my comfort zone and do what I need to do to go to the next level. So, busy creating content. I was in the park yesterday. It was freezing cold with my daughter filming content. She's like, make sure you shout me out. So I shouted her out. But just content and obviously managing the business. So busy as always, man. You guys know how it goes.
Yeah, standard procedure.
That's good.
Yeah, yourself, man. What you been up to?
I was gonna say if I'm not busy, you guys will probably just be side-eyeing me, right? But it's been working on the business. Obviously, you're slowly creeping up, to the more busy and busier periods right now. So business is good. So also been hiring new member staff as well. So got a new VA. She joined. She's absolutely amazing. Actually, I was going to say, I thought to sack all my other ones, but they might be listening. Don't worry, you're still here. I love you. Get them gone. But anyway, so I've been training up, so it's really, really good. That's been really exciting. And also networking, been working on some developments as well. Okay. So going on site, meeting again with some clients, some investors who got some big dough and trying to make a bit of change in property. Yeah. So, but other than that, same. Been happy, been trying. I've not been gymming though. Yeah, that's one thing.
I know.
You notice?
I know that. See this guy? He loves to stay up late. He's a late bird. Okay. I'll wake up the next morning and see that he messaged me at like 4 a.m. In my mind, like, bro, what are you doing at 4 a.m?
I'm like a night owl. I feel like my most optimal time of working is after 11 p.m.
There's no way.
Yeah, honestly, and even I'll tell you why. Even when I was studying, God, my phone is ringing off. Even when I was studying at school, when anytime I was revising or anything, it would always be like from 10:30 onwards, 11 p.m. onwards. I just felt like optimal, like everything was just going at 100 miles an hour, but I was I was just like the Matrix. I was literally, but I was like, I could watch a podcast, I could revise, I could listen to music, and I could be just doing kick-ups. Like I just feel like I could do everything at once, and I was just so optimal. I was taking in all the information, but obviously for a line of work, that's not optimal working hours because we need to be up early, we need to be meeting with people, etc., etc. We need to make use of actual daytime. So it was annoying. So, but I've been working on a few projects on the back, but once I've offset that, and I think I'll go back to normality, sort of my my early bird routine.
Jim misses. We miss you, man. We miss you over here. We miss you in that yoga class.
I need to.
I actually wake up. I got a walking pad.
Oh,
See those things that you fold out and you just walk in front of your TV.
Oh, really?
what does that look like then?
It's literally just a flat. You know those things in the airport where you stand on them and they take you along.
Oh, wow.
It's like one of those, just a flat board.
How big
with
is
a,
it?
With a I would say it's like this long, and then mine folds in the middle.
Okay.
I place it in front of my TV, and I wake up at 5 a.m. and walk.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it.
Cheat code.
Cheat code, yeah.
yeah.
I was watching a bit of telly.
Whilst watching telly, and obviously when you got kids, you can't always leave the house to go and exercise. So this has been perfect for me.
See, you're getting mummy tips now as well, like how to exercise. You know, 'cause I know
Get
it's
your
hard.
steps in.
Yeah, it's hard for women who have kids to exercise or go gym because like,
100%.
where do you find the time to do that?
I would love to lift a weight, but this is not my weightlifting season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
This is my
you.
kids are young season. I need to stay home.
Yeah.
You got to be resourceful, man.
Yeah.
Ah, I like that. I like that. Oh,
100%.
walking pad. Okay, I need to invest in that.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
good.
mean?
And then my husband goes gym.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we're always the ones to get close to the gym. We have to go to. We got to train up.
Right.
all right.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's good. That's good. So, okay, we all had a busy week, but in terms of this episode's topic, Brie, you actually came up with this one.
Okay.
And it was more so in terms of trying to monetize your knowledge. And before we even sort of get into that, what does that sort of look like for you in terms of like monetize? Obviously, you've done that quite extraordinarily well.
Thank you.
Might I add. So what does that sort of look like for you?
I think it's just the concept of you have this thing, we all go through life, we all have our own experiences, and you have this one thing that you're actually very good at or you're actually very knowledgeable in. And little do you know that there's other people who would also like to know about that thing, but you're there giving it away for free because you think you're so kind and big-hearted.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bills need to be paid.
100%.
So why don't you turn it into a business? Why don't you sell that knowledge? And that's something I discovered last year. And I started, giving knowledge. First of all, giving knowledge for free. You need to build trust and loyalty with people, and then you can ask for money. And it has kind of completely changed my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What was the epiphany moment for you? Other than obviously, bills got to be paid and whatnot. But what was like the real light bulb moment?
The real light bulb moment was the fact that, online products, online services don't have massive overheads. As we run our Airbnbs, the expenses, the rent, the bills, the blah, blah, blah. But if you tell somebody something, what's the overhead? Your Zoom subscription?
Yeah.
Do you see
Costs
what I
a lot
mean?
lower. Than
Yeah.
It's a lot
Margins are
lower.
crazy.
100%.
And I'm like, wait, if I can make this kind of money without these kind of overheads and I can be in my house, it's very flexible, it works around my family. I just have to commit a few hours to, putting together an ebook or, taking a paid call. What have I got to lose?
100%.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, you're obviously very entrepreneurial.
Thank you.
When would you say your earliest part of your entrepreneurial journey started?
When I had kids.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Making money outside of my job never crossed my mind until I had kids. I did what you're all supposed to do. I went to a good school, went to a good uni, got a good degree, got a good job, was rising up in the job perfectly well. I was a data analyst in my old life. So I was in tech, yeah, great job, until they want you to come to work and you've got a young child.
Oh, wow.
And then you're like, all of a sudden, I don't give a damn about this career. I want to stay home. And now I have to look at income in a different way because I don't want to change my lifestyle that this career has given me.
Of course.
So it's like, okay, how can I make money that isn't going to be £16 a day? I need mortgage replaceable money. I need car replaceable money. So what kind of businesses do I need to look at? I've tried a few.
Yeah.
So I tried like drop shipping.
Okay.
I've tried selling diet products.
You see that key word there, tried.
Yeah.
Try. You
Exactly.
just have to try. A lot of people just don't make that move.
Not at
to
all.
try.
People are very risk averse.
Why do
Yeah.
you think that is? And how comes you're not like that?
People are very risk averse, which is very reasonable to be risk averse. I think if you have big responsibilities like a mortgage, of course the sensible thing to do is to stick to your 9 to 5. However, the what if is what always crosses my mind. Now, what do you have to lose? Especially if you're still working. When I started my businesses, I was still in a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So what's the worst that could happen? I keep working.
Literally.
Literally. Do you see what I mean? I think the real risk is when you leave that job Now things are scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you kind of, you know, if you're you kind of know when to leave. Like
Yes.
you have that moment where you're like, okay, it's bringing in X now, and I was making that. Actually, I think it's that time.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started making a certain amount of business. I think I made my month's salary in maybe about 2 days. And I was like, yeah.
This makes sense.
This is time to
makes
go.
sense.
Yeah.
The maths is maths.
The maths is maths. Yeah.
It's that time now.
Yeah.
That time.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
really good. I've never, because you always sort of like stereotypically hear like, yeah, like, you know, selling sweets in school and I was doing this and I tried to, but like you, it seems like it's quite late in your life that it's
Absolutely.
opportunity. What about your other half?
So my other half was very much in his role as well. He was at a brilliant like an international company, perfectly good job. And then all of a sudden they were like, and he was working remotely. It was an international company, so they weren't set up here. And our life revolved around him working remotely. Then all of a sudden they were like, come into the office 3 days a week.
Mental.
And we were like, oh, hell no.
I think it changed. Is that after COVID? It's
After COVID,
I feel
they switched
COVID
up on us.
changed a lot. Had a lot
Yes.
of people thinking about,
Yes.
this is not like office. What? Like we never used to get in the
Yeah.
office 5 days a week. But I feel we got so used to a certain lifestyle. And the minute they were trying to take back that lifestyle, I was like, no.
You know, like we got a 10-year lease in this building.
Yeah.
You guys better come in 5 days.
You will come in.
Yeah.
Yes. So similarly, I was like, I think we just decided that, you know what, he should just stop working. And we had already started, the Airbnbs were there, but we'd already started his business, which is more deal sourcing. And we were like, okay, just pick it up. I had started being on social media. So small monies were coming in, but guys, the private school fees, the mortgages, the cars, the everything was just on our necks. So it became very much, this has to work.
Yes.
Yeah, this has to work.
Yeah.
We have to be up all night. We were up all night, every night. After put the kids to bed, we'll go into the office and lock the door and be like, it's time to work.
Yes,
Hustle
love
mode.
that.
It was
love that.
hustle mode,
And
very
that's funny,
much.
people never see that side. They see the
Never.
other side.
Yeah.
It looks like a overnight success, but
Yes.
you never know the late nights that you've been putting in day after day after day after.
100%.
So no, I like
That's
that.
it. No, I like that. Okay.
So-
What about you with you, John? In regards, what's your perspective on sort of like monetizing your knowledge?
I think I had learned about that quite late on. I think I've really started to understand it fully in the last couple of years. I read a book a couple of years ago called by Raval Navikant. What's it called
Almanac.
again? The Almanac. And it was talking about the importance of, if you want to build wealth, you need to leverage three things. One is people, one is leveraging money, and one is leveraging like social media. And it just got me into, how do you leverage your social media? And it just spoke about being able to productize yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, you have knowledge. Everyone's got knowledge of something. People are good at some things that, yeah, if you put your mind to, you could turn yourself into a product. And now you're global. Potentially, right? So yeah, no, I think it's powerful. It's beautiful to see you doing that and doing that at the level that you're doing that, because it inspires me.
Yeah,
Like, to see
100%.
people like me that I can relate to,
Yes.
doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
It lets me know, stay on the path.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy. Like in the early stages when you start anything, it's always so hard.
So hard.
So hard. So yeah.
100%.
What's your thoughts on it,
Yeah, for
Mr.
me,
Educator?
for me, honestly, I've been, you know, I'm pretty much like all of us. I've been doing what I've been doing for a long time, and obviously, there's a lot of people that, you know, monetize a lot of their information, their knowledge, and there's a unfortunate sort of like negative stigma that, like, you know, like the gurus.
Yes,
and I feel like
there
a
is.
big part of me didn't want to be associated or fall into that kind of category, and I feel like casually, like a lot of the time, people just sort of come to my DM saying, "Freeman, you're doing this, you're doing that. Do you mind mentoring me?" or etc. And I always said, "No, I just best buy me Nando's." I just
Yeah, I remember you said that to me. I'm like, bro.
yeah.
What?
So like, I'd always often do that because I'm very, very passionate. I'm very, very passionate about, you know, this business. I'm very, very passionate about property. So it's something that I'm happy to do anyway. And even in that the book, the Almanac, he says, you need to do something that feels like child's play, that feels like fun. Because he said you can only work for about 8 to 10 hours a day, but I'm playing 16 hours a day, so you can never beat me. So for me, I was like, I do really enjoy this, and I'm passionate about, like, you know, sort of supporting people. So like, why not? And even like one of my mentors, he talked about your ikigai, and I'm not sure you're familiar with that concept.
No.
So your ikigai, it basically means your reason or your purpose, effectively. You know, your reason to live or your reason of doing something. And it's like almost like a trifecta of like, you know, something you're passionate about, something you enjoy, something you like, and something also potentially, not always, that you can potentially monetize on, right? So trying to find like your trifecta of those three things. And I always used to think like my ikigai was just being in business. I was like, you know, once I was in business and I reached, you know, got, you know, a couple dozen properties and operating here and there, but like it still kind of felt empty. Yeah, something was missing. And literally, I kid you not, and we spoke about this on another episode, it's like you just start speaking to me like, what do you want, Freeman? Like, what is it that you actually want to do? And then he's like, you sound like you enjoy like talking to people and helping people. And then once we sort of unearthed that, and I feel like a lot of the things that I actually wanted to do were very surface level, very sacrificial, very material. And once we kind of unearthed that, I just broke down in tears.
Oh, wow.
I just broke down in tears because I felt, or I sort of created this artificial reality of something that I was meant to be as opposed to what I wanted to do.
Yes.
You know? And I feel like in a very, very long short, it's like, yeah, I feel like just doing something that you're passionate about, I think that's not something for me, like doing something you're passionate about that you love, so it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I was reading a book the other day. It's called Expert Secrets by
Love that book.
Russell Brunson.
Banging book.
Bad
Oh,
boy
yeah?
book. So I'm kind of going. I bought it years ago, and I told you I just never read it. And I'm going back to all these books. Why didn't I read this 3 years ago? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there's a part in the book, as you'll know, where he's like, a lot of people think that selling their knowledge is bad, but you get to a point where we all do Airbnb. There's only you get to a certain like ceiling, right? And it's like the only way you now grow is by teaching others.
100%.
So I'm sure we you know, obviously you've got people you teach, you've got clients, I've got clients. Like you grow by giving them the information. That's how you kind of go to the next level. Like how far can we can go and get more units, but are we growing in necessary knowledge and growth in that sense? Like purpose, I would say.
100%. And it's so demonized. Like you're just trying to sell a course. I'm like, come at me, bro. Because I am trying to sell something to you, but guess what? It's also helped so many people. Do you know what it's like seeing someone come to you and be like, oh my God, I got a booking.
Yes.
Oh my God, I spoke to somebody 2 nights ago. She's got an Airbnb in London. And because of where it is, she said she'd made £2,000 profit. And that was her sitting in my academy.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, I can take all the comments in the world because someone came to me and now makes £2,000.
You helped change their life.
I've changed their life. These are young people. And you know what? It's so funny that as your business grows, you hire people, right? I have people working for me who are students who have a percentage of my earnings. My earnings have grown to the point that I can give them what, 5k a month? Uni students.
That's big money.
Big money.
Big as a uni student.
And you know what? Because the joy of running a black business is that you can hire black people who wouldn't get 5,000 a month at that age in any job.
110%.
No way.
They would never
110%.
be picked for those kind of grad schemes. But guess what? Now you're working with me, you're going to see that kind of money. That is so much. That is like thinking about the bigger picture. Think beyond, you're just trying to sell a course. It's like, do you know what I'm doing for people?
This is a movement.
Again, it's people don't see what's
people
going
don't
on
see that.
behind the scenes. They only see what we put on the cameras. But
100%.
they don't see half of it, you know.
100%.
So no, that's beautiful.
That's
Really
really,
like to
really
hear
good.
that. Really
It's
like to
crazy.
hear that.
In terms of the like it takes, we always like to, maybe let's start off a bit more positively. Like, what would you say are some of like the positive advantages? And you kind of noted some as well, but like anything else in regards to like monetizing knowledge, whether it be for like the end user, so like your mentee or student or the course user, or perhaps even for yourself.
Okay. I mean, the good thing about monetizing your knowledge is that because you know a lot because you're passionate about it. And therefore, if you get to talk about what you're passionate about all day, it doesn't feel like a job. At no point do I feel like, this is so boring, like I used to at my 9 to 5.
It doesn't get worse than that.
So I can talk about the topic, and as you're talking about it, you're learning more and you're getting better and better at your topic. So it's such a win-win. In terms of like the mentees, the kind of people you come across, the kind of people you help, it's so lovely. The thing is, people you'll realize that your target audience are people who look like you, not just in physical appearance, but usually mums approach me, usually wives approach me, usually women in their 30s who are in good 9 to 5s approach me. That's where I was a year ago. So you realize that you're now making friends with people who you have so much in common with
100%.
that you would have never come across in normal life.
Yeah.
And you build that connection with them, especially like a one-to-one mentee where you spend so much time with them.
Yeah.
It's like, look at my new friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just helping uplift people as well.
100%.
Like that even within itself is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I really like it. Like, I laugh and joke on social media. Like, it's just so nice building that community and genuinely having people be like, hey, I remember when you started and now you're here. Well done. I'm so proud. I get DMs being like, I'm so proud of you.
That's amazing.
It's so, I can't put into words
Yeah, the
how
feeling.
much that is so lovely. So
That's
That's got to be inspiring our
100%.
our female mums.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot, I know a lot of people who would like to sort of start on that business journey, and they're probably just scared to go. But Bree is kind of living proof that you just have to try. You have to try, man. So yeah.
What we yourself, JP, in terms of like some positives?
Kind of touching on what Bree said, I think, because I'm working with some mentees now, and you are generally helping people who need that help to go to the next level. So I think for me, if you can, bring people, I guess, with you on the journey and help uplift them, that's a beautiful thing. A lot of people probably say, oh, so why are you charging and why? But I value myself like you guys do as well. You value yourself, you value your time. And people don't see the journey you've had to go on to get there, to be able then to pass that knowledge down.
Yeah.
We haven't made it where we're 9 figures, 10 figures. So we're still trying to grow our businesses and grow our brands and grow our development. So yeah, on that regard, I think it's definitely a positive thing, man. What's your thoughts? I know you're very passionate about the education space.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like leaning more onto what Bree said in terms of like the life change aspect. I think that's massive. Like, and not even from like an egotistical perspective, but to have such a fundamental, drastic change in someone's life, making £2,000 profit in a month.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
that's a salary. That's a salary from one property.
Yeah.
Imagine she had 2, 3, 10, which is very, again, in our industry, very, very possible. You can score like crazy. You can score like crazy, So for me, like you being able to practically put food on people's tables, change their life, allow them to adopt a new lifestyle, spend more time with their family, do whatever they want to do. It's like, that's like, I feel like that's so rewarding and giving people that opportunities. But so long, obviously, they take that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because what you are essentially doing is creating the blueprint. You're saying, look, this is where I was. This is what I did. This is where I am now. You just have to follow.
Yes.
Just stick on the path.
Clearly.
Do what I tell you to do, and you will get to
100%.
wherever you want to be. So the blueprint has been laid,
Yes.
and is being laid as we speak.
Yes.
So watch this space, man.
Yeah.
Copy and paste, please.
You know what I mean?
Copy and paste.
So
Being a bit more negative now, what would you say, Bree? Some of like the negatives are not monetizing the information or their knowledge, perhaps.
I haven't learned how to ignore all comments. I will fire back. What I find a lot, unfortunately, is that a lot of the negative comments I get are from men.
really,
100.
oh wow,
I actually would not have guessed that. Actually,
no way.
I would not have guessed that.
They are so irritable that
Oh really?
a woman. I don't know if it's because a woman is making money. I don't know if what it is, but they don't like it one bit.
Really?
And I got a negative comment even this morning because I think I did a post about me teaching my son. So another topic I'm very passionate about is home learning and teaching your child at home.
Yeah.
So someone asked, where do you get time to like practice in the morning? Where do you get time for that? And I just replied saying discipline. Like that's how you get time for it. If it's important to you, you'll make time to teach your child in the morning, right?
100%.
I love that.
And this guy came and was like, calm down, ma'am, talking to me. She just asking a legit question. I couldn't ignore it. I said, calm down.
Sorry, what?
I said, sorry.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Listen, I've replied to men and been like, don't associate me with the low lives you date. Like I have a problem with it. I just don't understand why it's always them. I literally wrote back to him. I was like, be quiet, Jay.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, so I haven't quite learned how to ignore comments that are snarky, but the ones that are straight racist and stuff, I find it very quick to block them. I don't internalize those at all.
Of course, yeah.
I got a on the same video, I got a comment, someone saying, "Oh, guys, this is what you should look for in a woman. It's not always about looks." I'm like,
Oh wow.
Wow.
I'm like,
But they
so
say-
am I the example of the not looks? Or?
Who are we talking about here? Because
Do you know what I mean?
I'm looking around the room.
I was like, I know he's trying to compliment me
Yes.
in terms of like as a woman to marry, but are you rude?
Yeah. No, you're taking liberties now.
Taking
You're
liberties,
you're
yeah.
taking
So
really.
stuff like that, I laugh. Like it's not that deep. It's
Of
just when
course.
people are being annoying. So
Yeah.
that's something I need to work on. I think another negative thing is people not seeing it as a real thing. So, for example, if someone pays for your mentorship, if you were to sell, let's say you sold fruit and they didn't like it, they bring it back, they'll understand that you need your money back because this is an item. If you tell somebody knowledge and they want a refund, you're like, how does this work? I've told you the knowledge. Do you see what I mean? So what I struggle with is people not seeing it as a real thing and not understanding A, why you should be paid for it.
Yeah.
B, why your one-to-one mentorship where they can get hold of your phone and your WhatsApp and be able to get you 24/7 is not £200.
Literally.
And I'm like, I don't know how to tell you why you can't own me for £200. Yeah. So that's another thing I struggle with. And I think the bigger and bigger your business gets, you have to remember that not everyone has got a lot of money. So sometimes you want to increase your prices or you want to charge something.
Naturally.
But you're like, actually, my audience,
This is what they can afford.
this is what they can
it's
afford.
fair, yeah.
And I do
Threshold.
want to help as many people as possible. So where do we go from here? So that's
Start
another
a charity.
But you know what my charity is? My charity is my free content.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Oh,
No,
I
fair
like
enough.
that.
Do
I
you
like
see
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. And you do give a lot of value.
I give a lot of value. You can legit start an Airbnb business off my
Off
content.
the free content.
So that relieves a lot of my guilt when I charge you
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Because I need to also grow a business.
Yeah, no, I like
100%.
that.
Yeah.
Some gems in there. I'm
Yeah.
even like, oh, actually, okay.
Let me triple them prices.
Prices, man. You guys are getting this way too cheap.
Yeah. When you really tap into monetizing your content and being around people who are making big money, you're like, hold on a minute. Like, I think when I became more intentional about spending time with people who were making my yearly salary in a month,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Okay.
you need to spend more time with people doing better than you.
110%.
Love that.
If you want to start a business and you know that your friends won't be able to support you or understand you because they're all in 9-to-5s, you need to put yourself in spaces with other business owners and learn off them and absorb them. And that's what I did. I took it all in. I took them as mentors. I paid for their mentorship. I invested in my knowledge, and it's
Yeah,
completely
people don't
changed my
understand
life.
kind of the money you have to
I
spend
was just gonna say.
along the journey, because I know you've paid for courses. You obviously
Yeah.
spoken about the course, and God knows I've spent money on courses. So
Yeah.
it's like we've invested in our knowledge, and you get to a
Yeah.
place like, well, it's time to get a return on my investment. now,
100%.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
so
No, I really, really like that. Just sort of piggybacking off of yours, I feel like some of the negatives that I feel like I sort of struggle with is one, with sort of my mentorship, everything's one-to-one. Everything's one-to-one. So that's very time taxing.
Yes.
Right? Issue I'm having, because it's not really sort of scalable.
No.
And the reason why I did that is because I was fearful of people not being successful and correlating that with the value that I'm giving them, which isn't the case that I've now found out. It's just that they're not willing to make that step and that effort. And I find myself in situations whereby which I'm giving you like everything.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the everything. Like I'm on calls trying to get agents, trying to get landlords for you, for your property. You know what I
going
mean?
above and beyond.
I'm going
Above
above
and
and beyond. Like our calls are 45 minutes. I've been speaking to you for 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, but and so
Listen, we've had these conversations.
so that's like my thing is like I ensure success, and that isn't part of my package. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the T's and C's, and I'm like, big man, what did I sign? You know? So like that's sort of, you know, for me is like not like obviously still having a form of accountability that, you know, the value that I give,
Yeah.
so I know is like next to nothing, and obviously I wouldn't be here if I didn't do what I've done and
Yes.
experience and et cetera and whatnot. But it's just more so, yeah, just not having to feel that guilt to say that people aren't willing to take action or, like you said, be disciplined enough
Yeah.
to get them to that sort of next level. Like I'm pretty sure even with your student or your mentee that's making £2,000 a month, I'm pretty sure she doesn't just wake up and just switch on her instant book, you know?
Right. So this is the big fundamental difference between those who do well and those who don't do well. No matter how many times I tell you, it's a numbers game. You're gonna have to call hundreds of landlords. After the third landlord, they're done. And I'm like,
power,
I have completely separated myself from their success. And I really celebrate the ones that do well, because I know what it took for them to get that Airbnb. And because we've all lived it, when they do well, I really, really celebrate them. But what I do guarantee to them is that there's nothing outside of my course that would get you an Airbnb. You have everything you need inside here. I guarantee it. Even from my free content, you can see it. So how much more my paid content?
Imagine,
I'll give you absolutely everything. But to actually take the steps is up to you. And I can't take that personally. And these one-to-ones you're doing, Freeman?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You be saying no more.
No more.
But yeah, I'm a bit of an impasse because like I said, I do genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah.
So like I said, it doesn't feel like work, but it's just, with some, like, I've just felt like, bro, I've done it. I've given it to you all. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've given it to you all. Like, I'm even calling old agents in areas that I don't even operate in anymore. Like,
wait, hang on. Wasn't our last episode like never giving up? Wasn't it about never giving up, bro?
Yeah,
it's time.
You need to know when to give up.
But yeah, so I but that's always been like my mentality as well. And we've even done like, and it's so funny, even in our conversation right now, we've had a few episodes of, like you said, like choosing your circle wisely, mentoring the right people, like the fear of failure as well, and never giving up. So I just feel like I need to rewatch some of my episodes.
It sounds like
There's some gems in there, bro.
You know, I need to
listen to
rewatch
your own
that.
stuff.
I've been playing it on 1.5x. But I think you're both right. You're both right.
Yeah.
And you, John?
Yeah, my negatives. I think it's something that I go through quite a lot. It's that imposter syndrome. It's me thinking to myself, like, why me? Like, why am I gonna now, try and, I guess, monetize my knowledge and just not feeling maybe confident enough to do that. I think that's probably the biggest thing. But then I think to myself, when I reflect, I'm like, why not?
Why not?
Like, I was there 3 years ago, I'm now here. There's people who would love to learn, how did you get from there to there? And you just share your story, you share your journey, you share the realities of it, the highs, the lows. But I think ultimately you help kind of shift the mindset, which we know you need to switch from, I call it the kind of the 9 to 5 to the, to the business mindset. It's a completely different mindset, traits, characteristics. How you live your life changes, how you see life changes, so
even just thinking about that, so to chat, but I feel like 90% of it is mindset, because it's not complex stuff. Like, we're not doing rocket science. Like you said, it's literally, it is a numbers game. It is like literally, there's a framework, there's a specific type of way you say something and you do something and you market it, and you just have to do it X amount of times.
Do you know what it is? I was sat in my car yesterday, I was thinking, I'm sure probably one of the keys to success, and we spoke about in another episode, is consistency, right?
Yeah.
But I've realized that in order to make it in life, you just have to be consistent, because 99% of people are not.
Yes.
That is it. And I think consistency is just a big thing that a lot of people lack.
Yes.
And if you can just shift your mindset just to be like, let me just try and be consistent just for 12 months with this. Off the back of hearing someone say, well, in 12 months you can do this. Let me just stick with it. But for some reason, we lack. Where do you guys think the lack of consistency comes from, and people not being able just to stick at something for a period of time?
I think it's an amalgamation of things. Obviously, even this like side that we live in, like social media, there's so much distractions. There's so much distractions. Also, maybe like your environment, your circle might not be conducive. It's like, oh, how's that little small business? How's that little property business? How's that little whatever? So like that can also knock you down and demotivate you as well. I feel like it's a lack of belief in oneself, ultimately, from my perspective.
But I think that might be a lack of belief in themselves, because they're now seeing you do something, because they can't understand what you do. I remember when I first started out, people was like, what are you doing? Leasing properties to lease, like service, what is that? But it's their, like, I don't want to call it ignorance, but lack of knowledge. Like, you don't know what you don't know. I don't know what your views are on that.
You can only imagine, right? Last year, I was a completely normal person. And then my people around me, people I know, people who are acquaintances suddenly see me on social media every day.
Come on, the woodwork.
They're like, what a loser. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my God.
why is she talking plenty on social media? And I know they're just like looking at me like, oh, you got 1,000 followers, yay! Like side eye, literally, yeah. And I know, and you know them ones where you get more shares than likes.
Yeah.
You know the people that are sharing it.
That's in the group chat.
That's
That's in the
100%.
group chat.
That's what I used to see when I started. I used to see bare shares, and I'd be like, say less, say less.
Yeah, I see.
And what happened over time is that because of my consistency, like everyone says it all the time, that Sabrina, you're posting all the time.
Literally.
All the time. And I have seen the power of consistency and what it has done for the money in my pocket. And now these people are like, hey, tell me, teach me, I want to see, blah, blah. They've seen me quit my job. They've seen my husband quit our job. They've seen me spend Christmas in Dubai. They've seen me go to Ghana, Lagos, Dubai again. And now they're like,
whoa, what's going on
over there? So I think a lot of it is they want to see someone do it first. And then give them the blueprint. And unfortunately, when that blueprint is consistency and discipline, they switch off.
Yeah.
They're not ready to do
They're
what
not ready
is
to put in the
needed.
work.
They're not
100%.
ready.
There's so many
ready.
times people are like, Sabrina, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? I made content every day. Oh, okay. But like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce.
Yeah. We talk about that a lot quite a bit, because sometimes I feel like some people are too smart for their own doing, in the sense of like, it can't just be X.
True.
It can't just be this. There has to be more. There has to be a golden gate or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Like, there has to be something unique and special and unordinary that has gotten you to where you are. And you're literally just telling me posting content every single day. You're mad.
Gonna help that.
Mad.
You're mad.
I think it has, quite a bad reputation though. There's a stigma about knowledge and having a mentor and paying for a course and that. And I think we've had that conversation. You pay to go to uni, so why would you not pay someone
Literally.
who's going to get you there 10 times quicker
Yes.
Literally.
the money to
And
get
cheaper.
there? Cheaper.
And way cheaper.
None of
Way
us are
cheaper
charging
and in
uni
less
fees.
time. I
Yeah.
think for me, time,
Yeah.
whenever I've paid for like a course or a mentorship, it's shortened the time.
Absolutely.
I can spend 5 years learning how to do Airbnb by myself.
Yeah.
I can get a mentor who can teach me in like 6 months.
100%.
Literally.
You know,
And even if you look at it, like, why wouldn't you? Like, I've got this person here who's lived it, done it, has all the battle wounds, so that I don't need to, right?
Yeah.
And I just got to pay for their time and for their resource, and I can get there in a way exponential rate, and probably even further.
Yeah.
Right. And I've got to leverage expertise. We might be in a community, or I might have some access to them. Like, it's almost like a no-brainer. But again, like we said, you spend 40, 50 grand in a room with like 30 other 40 students,
Yeah.
with a lecturer teaching you business that's never ran a business.
Yes.
And we're more than happy. But again, obviously, like we said, very institutionalized, sort of very, plugged into the society. You know what I mean? You need to unplug. You need to unplug.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really good. In terms of some steps, right? Because we're always about practical steps, right?
Sure.
So maybe let's sort of give both ends of the spectrum. So let's start with the mentor and then speak with the mentee or the students, like the end user. So what would you say are some practical steps for those people who have got an abundance of knowledge, something that they're passionate in and they're roaming and ahhing about whether it is something that they should action?
Okay. I mean, I can only speak of the strategy that I used.
Yeah.
And what I used was sharing it online. You can't get people to buy things if they don't know about your product. And the best way to get it out there is through social media. So I didn't start speaking about my product. I started speaking about what I knew for free all the time. And then what ended up happening with people DM me, be like, hey, I want to start. Can you help me? And I was helping them for free. I was booking calls for free. And during that time, what you need to do with those booked calls is start writing down their questions. You need to start writing down what it is people keep asking. The same questions over and over again. The questions I get the most is, how much do you need to start Airbnb? Write that down.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to do is going to take those questions and make them into more content.
Yeah.
So you're going to start doing content based on those questions. And then even more of your targeted audience will find you. They'll be like, rah, she's even answering my questions. She's helpful. Let me follow.
yeah.
And then you start to grow. When you start to grow and you have enough of a platform, then you start to be like, you know what, I can help you. Let's talk for 30 minutes. Do you want to book a call? Cool. The call's going to be £50. that's the beginning of your monetization of your knowledge. On those calls, you start talking, start sharing, start seeing how much support they need. If they start to say, I want one-to-one support, I want this support, that support, you sell it before you create it. This is a big, big thing. Do not start making ebooks that you don't know the people want. Do not start making courses that you don't know the people want, or you don't know what people want to see inside it. Everything I've done, I've always sold it and then created it. And now, because my business is big, when I sell it, I tell my team members and they're like, oh, for goodness sake.
She promised the world.
Yeah. And I do that and they laugh and they're like, they now see it coming. They're like, Sabrina has said they're going to do something. She's going to do something. And sometimes I'll see it and I've told the person, yeah, absolutely. I specialize in ABC. Then I send a screenshot to my team and they're like, you're so full of shit. Literally. And then we'll create it and it will be a fantastic product because I know exactly what the client wanted. So that is a pro tip I would give to anybody. Some people spend so much time on Canva, playing around, building something. So much time on a business plan, playing around, building a business plan. That's not it. Sell something. Add a number to it. Be like, oh, okay, a call with me is £100.
Okay.
Now you're going to go back and build what you're going to say on that call, how you're going to structure the call, and then you create the call and have your call.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Sales funnel and that.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I've outsourced that one still.
So I need to write that one down. I like that. That's fire.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Practical steps. I would just say, I think I've said it in like previous podcasts, is we've all kind of gone on a journey to get to where we are, and we've had to learn things. We've got experience in things, and I think to where we're going, you need to understand we're going and where the world is going. Life's getting harder and harder and harder. So you've got to look at how can you beat inflation. And the only way to beat inflation is not in your 9-to-5 job. So you need to start thinking about, you know, what can I do? How can I make money outside of my job? Things are going up, things are getting expensive, you know. So start to really look at your life and think to yourself, how will life look like in the next 5 years? If I don't level up, if I don't unplug, no, but how will it look? You know, and really start thinking, how can I make some extra money? And that money can come from the knowledge you know. What do you know? What do you thrive in? What do you excel in? What do people maybe even know you for? Like, what would someone come to you for advice and ask help around? And you could be like, okay, cool. So if she wants to know that, then there must be more people who want to know that. And just, you have to make, you gotta make this money, man. You have to.
I'm with you. I feel like for me, it's how I'd probably say for those who are sort of women and or contemplating is understand a simple supply and demand. You know, like if we're hungry, we'll pay to be fed. And similarly, you're solving problems, you're finding solutions for people, and people want it yesterday, right? And they want it, you know, in an intimate, personal, or they want it like this or like that, and you're just simply solving the problem. You're solving the answers, or you're solving the problems to the answers. So with that in mind, take advantage of the knowledge, take advantage of all the hardships, take advantage of all the issues and turbulences along your journey, and like put a number on it, wherever that looks like, and maybe you start small. You know, see what the people need, see if it's worthwhile, see if there's demand, right? Because you might think you're finding answers to problems that aren't really problems. Right? So speak to people, talk to people about it. Like Bree said, you know, social media is like the new currency. You know, if you're not utilizing social media, if you're not on social media, you're doing yourself a disservice. Right? So I definitely think, you know, try it. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
And I think just kind of adding to that, I've also read in Expert Secrets where he says something along the lines of like, go and work for free for someone and kind of see how you can help them. You know, like go and work with someone and think, okay, they've got those problems. I can help solve those problems. Go away and see if you helped improve what an existing business was doing. Then it shows that you have something of value that potentially someone else would pay for. So throw that one in there.
No, I really like that. Now, what about like, again, looking at the other side of the spectrum? So these are people who are thinking, should I invest in, you know, like another episode that we did, but like, should I invest in my education right now? Should I go the more non-traditional route? Should I pay this person to sort of take me or leapfrog me to where I need to be? What would you say in terms of that side of the spectrum where people are sort of umming and ahhing?
If you're umming and ahhing, the thing is when people umming and ah, I really avoid them like the plague. I don't want to convince you.
Sorry, I can help myself.
You're not avoiding them. Listen, that's a red flag for me. I'm not here to convince you to improve your life.
Freeman.
Do you see what I mean?
Freeman.
Like,
I'm such a people pleaser.
what? No. What I always say to people is, I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah.
I'm here when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to sell you my thing. I'm not going to be like, come and buy my knowledge. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Just look around, man.
look at people will come. And the thing is, the more and more people see your story and see your life change, they'll realize, oh, actually, she might have a point. She might be doing things. Like, I never, ever really push, come and buy. Because I'm like, the people who see it at such a big risk and people who are on the edge, they're such a pain.
I was going to say.
They're the worst.
When you take them on, they're the worst.
I can imagine.
Take out the most
Because
time.
they're so quick to be like, you're scamming me. They're so quick to be like, this doesn't work. They're so quick to give up. Listen, until you're fully ready with the full conviction in your heart that I want to get into property business, you're not welcome here.
And it's so funny you say that because I'm working with a guy and he was like, yeah, I've been wanting to work with you for the last 2 years.
Wow.
Like, I've been like watching you and seeing your growth and and now he's come and he's on it. I was like, bro, you need to set up your company. You need to do He told me it's done. I'm like, okay, so you want people who I don't need I shouldn't need to sell you me.
Thank you.
Like, you can see where we was a year ago to where we are now.
Yes.
Bro, here's the blueprint. Do you want it or not?
And you start becoming a motivational coach.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Go on, just make 5 more calls. Like, whereas when somebody comes ready, they're like, I've called 50 people today. You're like, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the best. Working with someone who's motivated is the best.
Yeah.
Those that are and are in, for me,
Time wasters.
time wasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with me, I always do try to see the best in people and always try to she's laughing at me. I just always try to see the best in people and try to
Even a producer laughed at that. Even a producer laughed at that.
We're like, oh, boy. Yeah.
Episodes, I've heard enough, bro. You need to stop, bro.
You know what I mean? I feel like I just always look at take the chance, but like you said, like they are extremely time taxing as well. And even and one thing I never ever sort of falter on is like my price.
Yeah.
Like my price is my price, or you know what I say, or my quote, wherever it may be, because I massively value my time.
Yes.
And if I reduce my price, I'm inadvertently devaluing my time, devaluing my resource in terms of what I'm offering and what I can provide to you ultimately. And like you said, it's so refreshing when you see someone that wants it.
Yes.
You know, they're so hungry. You know, got like two of my mentees, like they call 115 people a day.
That's amazing.
115 people a day. Like 2 guys, like one's in college and the other one's in uni.
Amazing.
They've got paid for a VA between the both of them to start messaging people on open rent. 150. I think they're like one's 19 and 20. I'm like, when I was 19 years old, I wasn't doing that. What? So when I just see people like that, but then I've got some, you know, other mentees like senior in age. It's just.
You know, I think people need to realize that when you become successful, 9 times out of 10, you've had to kind of pay your way there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of successful people will say they had mentors.
Yeah, of course.
They had, you know what I mean, a coach to kind of help them. It's like you need a coach or a mentor to take you to the next level, to
100%.
teach you things you don't know. But it comes with a cost.
100%.
It comes with a price because we're sat here in this room, we've all got our scars, our Airbnb scars, you know, bruises, late nights,
Definitely.
frustrations, wanting to give up. This is long, but we stuck it out. And it's like, now, if you want to know how we did it,
Here you go.
There you go.
these are the figures. But I keep telling Freeman, man, he gives so much. He gives so much. And it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing at all.
No.
But you need to value and appreciate your time more, bro.
This was like an intervention.
Yeah,
This is all a setup.
John brought me here for this.
It's like, why am I sitting on the solar seat? Why am I sitting there by
Freeman, this
myself?
is your life.
You know what I mean? No, but you're right. I feel like, it's like you said, Bree, it's either you want it or you don't want it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the thing? You can teach a man to fish. You can, what was it?
Take him to the river.
I don't know.
You can teach a man how to...
You can give a man a fish.
You give a man a fish or
we
teach
can
a man how
him
to fish.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I can't force feed you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like, you're definitely right. And I feel like, again, for those who are sort of listening, like you said, if you're and ahhing, don't message Bree. If you're women are message me.
Waste his time, not mine.
Bree is not a time waster. There's no playing around.
No, 100%. But Jay said, but no, I thought you liked that.
Yeah.
I feel it was a really, really good episode.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like we deliberated about a lot. I feel like we gave you guys some practical advice.
Yes.
For those of you looking to monetize your knowledge, for those of you who are looking to take advantage of people's knowledge to monetize yourself and to make something of yourself and leapfrog, I think that's massively amazing. But again, JP, what's this time of the episode now?
I wanted to add, I just think like, I said it in the beginning, it's so refreshing to have you on the show.
Oh yeah.
Thank
For a number of reasons.
Yeah.
I think to see, another person like me doing their thing, beautiful thing.
Yeah.
The fact that you're a female with kids as well, because I know a lot of people will say, they can't do it because they've got kids and that. Look, she is living proof.
Living proof.
That where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want it enough, then you find a way to make it work. So maybe if you're not making it work, you don't want it enough.
People get really offended by that, by the way.
Well, it is what it is, man.
I agree, it is what it is. Honestly, like people are always like, no, you don't understand. I take my kids to Breakfast Club. I'm like,
For me,
Excuses.
it's excuses. Like,
we put us up in an episode, I can't remember what it was, and it was like, if you knew there was a bag of £1 million waiting for you if you just did this, you'd find a way.
100%.
So it's excuses. You don't want it enough. You think you do.
Yes.
You go on social media and you look at, this looks nice. I would want this. But when you actually deep what it takes,
You don't.
just leave it alone. I always say though, like I think anyone could be an entrepreneur, but not everyone could be an entrepreneur. Do you know what I mean?
Be a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah, literally.
That's
Literally.
an episode. Are you a successful entrepreneur? What does that look like?
What does it look like? In fact, I have a question. What was the first big purchase or like that I've made it purchase since you've become an entrepreneur?
For me, it's when I bought my house. Bought my house 23.
Wow.
I bought my house 23. First homeowner of my family.
That's amazing.
And also same month before I left my job as well. So I was like, before I leave my job, I bought my house.
That's amazing.
So I bought my house. So I feel like, for me, I was like, yeah.
This is why it's worth it.
Yeah.
At 23 years old, that's amazing.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Should have tipped.
How do I top that now? To be fair, I did buy my first house when I was 23, so many years ago. I think I wouldn't. Do you know? Funny thing is, I wouldn't even say I've made any like big purchases. I've traveled a lot, so I'm now of that mindset and at that age where you realize it's about creating memories and the materialistic stuff. It's nice for a couple of weeks, but then the novelty wears off. So I find like I used to spend a lot of money. I don't really now because I'm like, I just need to invest back into my business. But I'd probably say for me, running the Airbnb business was probably when I moved into like my new place and my car. I love my car, man. I got myself a nice little Audi. Yeah, I think that was... You know the one.
Yeah, that roars.
It roars, yeah. So it's kind of stepping into that and I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, proper.
We made some progress.
I think from Airbnb business money was buying our first house, funny enough, like leaving South London. It was such a big thing for us. Like we've been able to find the family home that we wanted, moved out to the South, definitely. But in terms of more recently, in terms of the social media business, we're currently in the process of buying a house cash.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
And I think that is definitely like...
That is serious.
Yeah, and we're like, we want to get into the whole buy it cash, flip it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But the fact that we're looking at houses and we don't need a mortgage broker, we're
That
like,
is a flex, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
In case you just don't know,
Like-
not having a broker.
There you go.
As in going to the stage and say, I want that one.
one, yeah.
Keys, please.
Now,
and then being so busy that we're actually paying someone to go and do that.
Yeah.
So,
That is such a wow.
So,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I think that's for
I love
us,
that.
like, okay,
guys,
things have
stay
changed around
consistent.
here.
Yes.
Stay consistent.
Post on social media.
Literally. Crazy.
That's really, really good. Yeah. Do you think, in terms of a lot of people sort of like to not show something for the set, do you like advise that? Would you say you advise that? Like, is that needed or
Show, sorry.
to sort of I sort of articulate myself, like you said, like what was the biggest like sort of purchase that you made to yourself? Like a lot of people say like, no, I'd rather not treat myself. I'd rather get to this new height and this new feat and whatnot. Is that worthwhile, would you say?
I'm very much like that. I don't spend money ever. And it's so funny. I was saying to my husband the other day that we used to watch TV shows where people, game shows, you're going to win 100,000, you're going to win it. And then we'd have the conversation. What would we do if we won that money? This was before our life changed.
Yeah.
And we always used to say, we would buy houses. So we're like, glory to God. We're actually doing what we said we were going to do when we got money. And now that we have money, we're actually doing it. We haven't started, upgrading life and stuff like that. And obviously when you have children, your priorities are so different. I'm not saying that everyone who hasn't got children is irresponsible, but you just don't care about those things. Like I still take my kids to Sports Direct to buy trainers. I am not going to turn them into Foot Locker babies just because. And sometimes I look at them and I'm like, you guys have no idea your parents are rich.
Or even Gucci babies. What are you doing?
No, and I laugh at people around me who I know aren't making the same kind of money, and I'm like, you've got so much to prove, but why? But why? And I just always look at my kids and laugh, like, you guys have no idea what's going on around here.
I've got a saying, why is it that people who don't have money always want to look like they got money? But when you got money, you don't even want people to know you've got money.
Exactly.
Why would I want you to know that I've got money?
I don't want you to know that.
I don't want you to know my business that. Do you know what I mean? It's such a weird, where do you think that mindset comes from? Like, look at me.
Social media, of course. And you know what? It works because when my husband and I realized that men don't want to be taught by me, men are being a bit weird.
You find out your men don't want to be taught by you?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Taught by a woman? What do you mean?
Flipping
what do we know? Yeah.
Thought we passed that by now.
Nah. So what do? We put my husband on social media.
Yeah, I seen yours when
so my husband has started on social media and he does the money claims and it attracts mentees like flies.
Oh, no way.
That lifestyle that I'm too afraid to do for men, if he does a video of him stepping into the range, DM's full.
I should be like him.
Yeah. We've made 6 figures in this many months, DM's full. Isn't it so interesting? So I said, this is what fuels the nonsense.
Yeah.
It's that they love the lifestyle stuff. Yeah, but obviously we're just doing it as a strategy.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
To rehash. That's a nice little segue.
Yeah.
John, introduce the next part of the show, please.
So, this part of the episode is called Plug Bites. This is where myself, Freeman, and we're going to invite Bree to come on and do it as well. We pick out a quote, something we saw on social media. It might be something you read in a book. It might be something someone said to you. It might have just been like you reflected and thought, okay. It brought it home for you. So, yes, this is to inspire. This is to motivate. 100%. This is to get you to stay consistent.
literally, I was like,
so, who would like to go first?
Riaz,
Oh yeah?
We'll let you go first.
I didn't prepare ahead of time.
No worries.
But I'm full of quotes.
Go on. Give it to us.
There's one that I saw this week that really brought it home for me. And it was like, it said, nothing is ever as bad as it seems that it's going to be. And nothing is either as good as you think it's going to be. And for that reason, you don't need to let your emotions be doing all of this. And I realized it's so true. Whenever I've been dreading something or I'm like, this thing is happening, it's awful. Obviously, a week later, I'm like, it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you dreamt of having money in the past and you're like, oh, this is going to be so exciting, then that thing happens and you're like,
yeah, nothing really changed.
Nothing really changed. It's not even as good as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. And then, sorry to say that. And so when you were saying earlier about you realized there was emptiness as you were growing your business, I was like, because it wasn't as good as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, you're right.
Being successful wasn't what you thought it was going to be. Nothing's as good as it seems. And therefore, long story short, it's just not that deep. Yeah. And that really hit me. I was like, yeah.
I like that.
That was a good one. I should have first.
I know. That was profound. Man.
Yeah.
Very profound. Yeah, that gives you a whole different perspective.
I was just going to
say.
It really hit me, I was like, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, whoa.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I feel like in that 30 seconds.
I need a minute.
Little break.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really good. That's really profound. Where did you find that from? Or what did you?
Another podcast. I think I was listening to. I don't remember the podcast. Maybe we can put it in the.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It was another podcast I listened to. I just
that's
on
very
my
profound.
walking pad watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's very
and
profound.
It came up, and I was like, yeah, it's so true. true.
Well, I'm gonna do a measly attempt to try and get that.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
That's something. I actually need to watch these episodes back.
No, you need to, man. I've said that a few times in episode 14.
So, one that I got, where is it? Cool. Again, I don't know where I got this from, but I just screenshot. I've got like a folder of like loads of screenshots, Chris. But this one, again, sort of in line with sort of taking that leap. It says, don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of never trying. Yeah. Failure is the stepping stone to success. You know, so, and again, we've talked about this in previous podcasts about, you know, fear of failure, but understanding that failure is part of the journey. Yep. And even just leapfrogging on what Bree said in regards to like nothing is ever as what it actually appears to be. Yeah. It's not as good and it's not as bad. So again, like what Bree said, if you take that into consideration, you don't always need to fluctuate and you're now expecting, you know, for you to trip up, but just look at it as an opportunity, you know, to pivot, to try something new, or to look at it as, okay, cool, I need to fix something here, right? So I think I always understand, like, and I always say, like, no one ever hits the bullseye, or rarely ever hits the bullseye, like, first time going. No. You know what I mean?
Do you know, I was just thinking about something quite deep, and I was thinking, if we could just remove the word failure from our vocab, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's only a lesson. It's not a failure.
And just a lesson.
I think you brought up something in a previous episode where you was like, what would you be prepared to try if you knew you couldn't fail? But if we realize in life that no matter what we do, never look at it as a failure. It's a lesson, you know.
And even on the subject of failure, something I always say is that fail fast.
Yes.
Like, just get over and done with, get that lesson and move on. I remember when I started doing like webinars and we're doing them once a week. And I was like, can we do them 3 times a week? Yeah. And my IT guy was like, you're right.
Trying to break the system.
Can the server hold that one?
Relax. And I was like, I want to do it 3 times a week so that every time there's a mistake or a tweak, we can fix it much faster rather than waiting a whole week. Like, for example, what happened at the beginning of the week for me where it luck off. What, I should wait till next Tuesday to fix it? Nah, man. I had one yesterday. I'm having one tonight. 100%. Like, fail fast. It will help you to move on past that failure so much quicker because a new thing has happened, the new event has happened, and then you get the lesson much faster.
110%.
So actually go for the fail. Yeah.
I like that. Oh, she's giving 2, man.
I know. Definitely have to get her back on the show. New co-host.
My husband is going to be like,
Freeman.
What? Brian Freeman? I'm done.
Go with you, John.
Do you know what? I had a quote, but I'm using what I just said. That's my own quote.
Just skip that.
Skip that. No, I was just thinking, like, failure. Where's that word come from? Why is that even a word? Failure. You're not a failure. You're literally not. You're just trying to learn something you don't know, and there's a process. And then once you just kind of stick at it, you'll learn to kind of do it. But now we'll go into my quote because it kind of leads into how I've been feeling recently because where I'm at kind of on my business journey is I'm now moving properly into the educational space. So I launched my consultancy a while ago and I'm just kind of working with some clients who are in Airbnb and kind of want to get into it. But I'm kind of moving into proper building my brand. But for me, I don't really like being on camera. I really don't. Like for me, it doesn't really come natural. But I've realized that in order to have things that you don't have, you have to do things that you don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So I say that to say this. The quote was, embarrassment is the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like a foolish beginner, you'll never become a graceful master.
Perfect.
So for me, kind of filming content, I'm like getting frustrated. I'm like, this don't sound right. This don't look right. I look like an idiot. I sound like an idiot. But one of my favorite kind of business philosophers was Jim Rohn.
Okay.
And he's like, the only way you can get better at something is by doing it over and over and over and over again. So the only way you can get good, you just have to keep going. There's no better way, or there's no other way to get better at something and improve. So my day 3 looked a lot better than my day 1. Day 3, I was like, all right, guys, so I was on it. Like doing special effects and all sorts.
Be like, easy now.
I got my angles now. But day 1, I was like, imposter syndrome, man. Like, do you know what I mean? And for when you kind of push through that, it's light at the end of the tunnel. So
very profound.
Very profound. Like that. I love that episode.
Yeah, that's good. All right, it's a solid episode, really.
Yeah.
It's to see 1,000 subs from
right.
that.
Just flocking through my little payment gateway on this. Try to monetize on this. You guys can't be getting this for free.
To the payment gateway. I'm
Throwing the affiliate links and that.
Not you overtaking the advice. Yeah.
every single gem, just bleep. 99p per gem.
That's it.
Well, that's good. That's really, really good episode. But guys, again, we hope that you took advantage of this. We hope that you appreciate all the gems that Bree, myself, and John has dropped. Again, we do this for you as an opportunity to stay unplugged. So please, as always, make sure you like,
share,
subscribe, and again, tell a friend to tell a friend. I don't know if I should say my last. I always often say, what do I often say?
You always say, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell his mistress.
Oh, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell his mistress all the time. With an concubine. Whatever it may be, tell everyone, please, guys. We really appreciate all the love, support.
Yeah.
Again, comment on any sort of other topics that you want to discuss and deliberate on. And as always, Bree, thank you so much. Where can the people find you, please?
People can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Property with Bree. And
on all platforms?
On all platforms, I
She's
guess.
everywhere. She's global.
She breathes
She's a boss babe, man. She's
Yeah.
a boss of business, man.
We're doing
Probably Bree
bits
again.
out
That'll be
here.
linked in bio, everything can, all that jazz.
I want to add to that. I want to say, Bree, like, thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you,
on the
guys.
show. I know
Thank
how
you.
busy it gets as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, and for you to kind of take time out to bless us in the studio, we really appreciate your story.
Thank you.
For me, I've got some gems in there, so I can't even imagine. And I do this thing.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So I got some gems. So guys, the knowledge, like, listen to what we're saying to
Take
you,
it
man.
in.
You can
Thank
change
you.
your life
Yeah.
if you kind of just take that step. Just try.
Try.
That's all you need to do is try,
100%.
man. But no, I've been inspired. I've been motivated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Bree,
We
man.
appreciate
Thank
it, man.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Guys, we'll see you in the next episode. As always, love, love, love.
Elevate.
Ciao.
Bye.